What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we're going to learn how to play the Transformers trading card game. The other day I gave you a little intro video telling you about the game, the products that are being released, etc. But that ain't no good if you don't know how to play the game. So in the Transformers trading card game, you've got your character cards, and then you've got your battle deck. Your character cards, you can have as many as you like. The only rules are that you can only have one of each named character. So that's not the Transformer, that's the name. So you can only have one Optimus Prime Autobot leader in your deck. But you could have an Optimus Prime Autobot leader and an Optimus Prime Freedom Fighter. That would be okay. The other rule is that your character cards must equal no more than 25 stars. So if we take a look at Dinobot Sludge here, you can see at the bottom of the card, it is an 8-star card. So you could have Dinobot Sludge, and then you would have 17 other stars to spend. Now these character cards actually have two modes here. So you can see the Bumblebee Brave Warrior on the screen. You've got bot mode and alternate mode. Now you always start in alternate mode, and the key information is this. You've got your attack number, your defense number, and you've got your health, which can change as you flick between modes. So you can see here that Bumblebee Brave Warrior has an attack of 3 in alt mode, but an attack of 4 in bot mode. Other than that, his stats are the same, but you see that the skills they've got are different depending on which side of the card you're looking at. Your battle deck, however, will be made up of either action cards or upgrade cards, and you can have minimum 40 but no maximum. The only important things you need to know about all of these at the moment are that at the top right corner, you will either have orange squares, blue squares, or white squares. We'll look at them in more detail in a moment. So to begin the game, you put all of your characters down in alternate mode, you shuffle and place your deck face down, and then you randomly decide who goes first. The official website suggests you use rock, paper, scissors, although one could argue that's not random. In a lot of card games, you roll the dice to get either even or odd numbers. And then you draw a hand of 3 cards to begin the game, which compared to a lot of trading card games is a very small hand size. Now, during your turn, firstly, you draw a card, and then there are 3 things that you can do, though you can only do each of them once. You can flip a card, bot to alt mode or alt to bot mode. You can play an action card, which then goes in the scrap pile, discard pile, at the end of the turn. And you can play one upgrade card onto a character. When you've done all 3 of those things, that's when you start attacking. Now, as of a lot of trading card games, there are some exceptions at the beginning. If you are going first, then you can draw a card, but you cannot play any action cards or upgrades. It's just draw a card and attack. If you're going second, you can draw a card, you can attack, but you can only play one action card or one upgrade card on your first turn. Once both players have had a turn, we're back to doing whatever you want within the rules. Now, we'll look at action and upgrade cards in a moment, but they'll make more sense if we look at attacking. So in terms of attacking, when you attack, what you've got to do is tap your card, i.e. turn it sideways to show that it has been used. You can only attack with untapped cards. Any cards that are tapped cannot attack. And initially, you must attack one of your opponent's tapped cards. If all of their cards are untapped, then you have a free choice of who you attack. If a player has no untapped cards, then they cannot attack. How do you decide who wins? Well, both players reveal the top 2 cards of their battle deck, and this is where we're looking for those white, blue, and orange icons. If you hit a white icon, what you do is you reveal another 2 cards, but you only do this once. You're only turning over a maximum of 4 cards. The attacking card counts up the number of orange icons and adds it to the attack stat of their attacker. The defending player counts the blue icons and adds it to the defense stat of the character being attacked. And then the defender takes damage equal to the attack stat minus the defense stat. Obviously, if the defense is higher than the attack or equal, then no damage is taken. If a character's health goes to 0, they are KO'd and they are removed from the field. Now, in terms of attacking order, if an opponent has any untapped characters, they get to have a turn. And you take it in turns attacking until all of your character cards are tapped. If you've got 3 untapped characters and your opponent has 1, you attack, they attack, but then you've got 2 untapped characters, so you get to attack twice in a row. Remember, you can only attack tapped characters unless there are no tapped characters. Once both players have got all of their character cards tapped, then the character cards get untapped, and we're off again. Now, we need to go back to these action and upgrade cards. Action cards do what it says on the tin. So if we take as an example here Plasma Burst, it's an action card that just does 2 damage to an enemy. So you play it, you do 2 damage to an enemy, and that's your action card for the turn. Or you could play a Repair Bay, which lets you remove 1 damage from each of your character cards. In terms of upgrade cards, you actually attach them to your character cards, and each character card can have 1 weapon, 1 armor, and 1 utility. You can swap them over, and then the one you did have on there goes to your scrap pile, but given that you can only attach 1 per turn, you ideally don't want to be doing that. Now, weapons essentially let you do a little bit of extra damage, so let's take, for instance, this flamethrower, which just says you get to flip 2 more cards when attacking. So you would flip 4 cards from your battle deck rather than 2. Or you could play a grenade launcher, which adds 4 to the attack of the character to which it is attacked, but as it says on the card, scrap this card. As with any trading card game, you will need to read the cards. There's going to be all kinds of extra rules, most of which will be fairly self-explanatory. Now, you could have utility cards, which do exactly what they say on the tin. So, something along the lines of a data pad, for instance, which lets you draw a card when the character to which it is attached attacks. And then you may put a card from your hand on top of your deck. Because it says may, you assume you don't have to. Or maybe you have an armor card like Improvised Shield, which lets you flip 1 more battle card when you are defending. As I've said, each character can have 1 armor, 1 weapon, and 1 utility. If you replace them, you scrap the originals. Now, I keep talking about scrapping. Scrapping is your discard pile. This is where action cards go, this is where replaced upgrades go, and it's where cards revealed during battles go. When your battle deck is empty, you shuffle up your scrap pile and that becomes your deck, which means unlike a lot of trading cards games, decking out is not a win condition here. You win when you remove all of your opponent's character cards from the field. The last thing we need to mention here is character skills, and essentially you do what they say. Now, in terms of the bot mode, you tend to have tough, bold, and pierce. So Bumblebee's got an example of tough. It lets you flip more cards when you are defending. Bold, let's look at Jetfire for instance, lets you flip more cards when you are attacking. And pierce, let's look at Megatron, guarantees damage. So Megatron's got pierce 3, which means you do a minimum of 3 damage. So if you attack and your opponent defends and your attack is 2 higher, you still do 3 damage, because Pierce 3 guarantees that 3 damage will be done. Whereas if your attack is 5 higher, then you would do the 5 damage. It guarantees 3 damage, though it could be higher. Now, in terms of the alt mode, these seem just a little bit more interesting. Now, some of them, take Ironhide for example, literally don't have a skill. But Dinobot Sludge says that when you flip to this mode, you can move any number of damage counters from your other Dinobots to this one, and he's got a health of 12. Obviously, when your health goes to 0, that's when you get knocked out. So, you know, that could be kind of useful. Or Bumblebee says that when you flip to this mode, each of your characters gets Pierce 1 until the end of the turn. And that, of course, leads to some strategy here, because Bumblebee in bot mode has a higher attack, but when you flip to alt mode, all of your characters instantly get Pierce 1, so you're going to want to be flicking between them fairly quickly. I mean, look at Optimus Prime Autobot Leader. In the alt mode here, you just draw a card. which is pretty awesome. But then in bot mode, you've got bold 1, which lets you flip one more battle card when attacking. And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen. Play your action cards, attach your upgrades, attack until you bring their health down to 0. When all the character cards are gone, you win the game. It's a very interesting looking game. There's lots of strategy here in terms of, do you go for a swarm of Transformers with low star costs or focus on a couple of big powerful ones? As with all of this, we're going to have the cards released and really get to build decks and have a play before we see exactly what the best strategies are. But hopefully this video's got you, firstly, informed enough to know how to play when it comes out, and secondly, in the mood for some Transformers TCG. I intend bringing you a lot more Transformers TCG news and action on this channel. When the cards are released, we'll be having some battles on here. Until then, we're going to be doing some card profiles showing you all of the cards that have been revealed and suggesting how good they may or may not be. For your side, ladies and gentlemen, do make sure you pop a comment down below telling me how excited you are about this game. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel so you can watch all those future videos. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.